What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the standing riding position that you need to master if you want to ride big twin adventure bikes off-road. So, I'm out riding today with my dad. We're having an awesome day and we're going to break it down for you. Let's ride! G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael, I'm the Motor Barista. Out for a ride today with my dad Jamie, and we're gonna kick off this adventure bike chapter of the channel with talking about riding technique, and in particular, the standing riding position when out off-road. So both myself and my dad are transitioning from a motocross background. We've been riding those lightweight dirt bikes in race conditions for a long time, and transitioning to the big heavy bikes, a lot of the fundamentals are the same, but everything needs to be exaggerated even more so. So we're going to break down the standing riding position and pay attention to some key areas of the body that will really come in handy when handling these big heavy twin bikes. Now the main reason this standing position is so important is that we're going to spend 90% of our time out off-road in this riding position. Being stood up on the bike allows the suspension to freely operate and work in the way that it's meant to. It's also going to allow you to have more freedom in moving around on the bike itself. And that's going to be even more important on these big heavy bikes, because moving our body around is going to help handle the weight of the motorcycle far more efficiently. It's going to allow you to enjoy your bike more and create a flow in your riding. And it's also going to keep you safe as well. You're going to be able to be in control of the weight of this motorcycle. So one key thing to start off with is where we're actually standing on the bike. We want to be quite centered in the bike and using the bike's central mass as our foundational position. We don't want to be leaning too far forward. It's going to put too much weight on the front end of the bike. This bike is just too heavy, and that front end just cannot support the weight of these big motorcycles. Likewise, coming too far back, and now we don't have that control going into our handlebars, and the front end becomes too light, and we're not going to have that traction and that direction that we need. So we want something nice and centered to begin with. So we're centering our mass in the middle of the bike. We'll start with the front of the bike and we'll work our way back. So to control the front of the bike, we're using the front of our body, the part of the body that's forwardmost on the motorcycle. It's going to be our head. So you can see the head is right over the bar pad, looking forward at the trail. Elbows need to be in a nice bent position. And as Dad begins to bend his knees and collapse his hips, those elbows come up into that attacking position, putting us in a position that's ready to absorb any bumps or terrain that comes our way. Looking at the back of the bike, so the back part of our body needs to be in control. We'll start low at the feet. We want our toes to be on the foot pegs, not the arches of our foot, and most certainly not the heels of our foot. Having our toes there allows us to have more spring and suspension in our ankles, and it's also going to give us more grip on the bike itself. So if Dad just turns his toes in slightly towards the motorcycle, it's going to turn his knees in, and that's where that grip on the bike's going to come. Now, as you can see right now, his butt is quite tucked. That's because a lot of the bend is coming only from the knees. What we want to do is collapse the hips, and what that's going to do is stick the butt out over the back end of the motorcycle. So now, as you can see, we've got a nice centered position, and we've got the frontmost part of the body over the front of the motorcycle and the back end of the body over the back end of the motorcycle. And here we want the motorcycle and the rider to work simultaneously. In this position, we can allow the suspension to work as it should, pivoting from front to back as the terrain demands it. So this riding position is going to be 90% of your riding when you're off-road. It is absolutely fundamental to enjoying off-road riding. Now, a few notes on this position. The feet being in this position with the toes on the foot pegs puts you out of reach of your foot controls. So you're gonna need to have active feet in order to use your brake and your gear shifter. This is something we're going to talk about in future videos, but it's something to be mindful of. When you're riding and you look down at your feet, you should always be able to see your toes. Your knees should never be blocking them. So from this position, we have a lot more control of the bike. The bike is able to work as it should, and we can control that weight by giving us more freedom to move our center of mass over the bike itself. So what you need to do is go out and practice this riding position. You need to get used to it. And as you do so, you're going to feel all of those benefits coming through. What you should feel is a more relaxed and neutral flow as you're riding the bike through the trails. So let me know in the comments below your tips for your standing riding position when riding off-road. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and we'll be in touch. Otherwise, get out and practice and ride safe. Peace.